I've been a bit absent again on YouTube and everywhere else, and I will update you all when you come on. Just having a bit of problem with motivation, and I'll explain why in a minute. And my skin is really dull because I haven't been sleeping well, so I'm going to put on some beautiful skin foundation right while you're all coming on. And I'm going to put it on with my fingers today, just because I fancy doing it that way. When you put it on with your fingers, as I've done before, it actually, you realise how good the coverage is. Even though it's supposed to be medium buildable, it actually is quite a good coverage. See, look, I'll do half of my face and you'll see. Hello to the two that have joined me. I know some of you, by the way, that join don't actually comment. So not forgetting those people. Hello. You see what the coverage is like. There's no foundation. There's foundation. It's pretty good. And it actually applies. I'm just applying, for those of you that just joined, the Beautiful Skin Foundation. I'm just applying it for a change with my fingers, because it actually, I've found that it applies quite well with your fingers. It sort of really works it into the skin and makes it look like skin, which is great considering it's Beautiful Skin Foundation. See what I mean? It actually makes it look like skin. I know we're all obsessed with brushes now, but do you remember the days when we didn't have foundation brushes? I seem to remember getting my first foundation brush in the 90s. Before then, you applied everything with your fingers. Now, I've deliberately not put any around my eyes yet. Now, is anyone chatting yet? Oh, now they didn't pop up. Now, I wasn't ignoring you guys. It wasn't popping up that anyone had said hello until I pressed. So, hello, Shahina. Hello, Bushra. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Terry. Hello, Scary. Do you know I've gone back to applying foundation with fingers and like the finish, especially if you bounce over with a dry sponge afterwards. Very good. I just put on some more of Charlotte Tilbury's Primer Sunscreen. It looks like it's almost done. So expensive, it is true. Hello, Robin Green from Australia. I'm looking well, Ali. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, now, I tell you what, I have just been suffering more mentally this week with a kind of lack of motivation, and I'm sure a lot of you have been there, and it really wasn't helped on Monday by the fact that I got a phone call at 9 o'clock saying there's a cancellation with the pain clinic. Now, I've been referred to the pain clinic because my GP reckoned that there was stuff they could do for me, so it kind of got my hopes up. And I should have learned over these years not to get my hopes up. And he started off the conversation with, okay, you've been referred by your GP. I'm not sure how much we can do for you, but let's have a chat. Took a history from me. Said, oh, well, you're on quite a lot of pain relief. At some point, you might want to consider cutting it back, because it doesn't work, which I kind of know. But the last thing I want to do right now is cut back my pain relief. And then started to talk about relaxation and sleep and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which I know they can be useful things. And I said, yes, I'd sign up for the sleep clinic. But basically, it was pretty useless. And to be honest, I thought, I wish they hadn't even bothered to refer me, because all that did was get my hopes up that there was something else around the corner. exactly, the pain clinic's a complete way. Something else round the corner that would help me, you know, and I'm quite receptive to drug-free kind of options. I was really excited a few years ago because they said that they could inject my spine with something that would work for 6 months, and I'd have to go back every 6 months, but I could come off all my pain relief. And I was so excited. And then they looked at my x-ray and said, it's too dangerous. The tethering's too close to your spinal cord. So it's always been that history of getting your hopes up and back down again. So, yeah, I kind of, this week I've been licking my wounds, which meant, so it's purely a kind of mental health thing, to be honest, which meant all the things that I promised you guys, I didn't really deliver on it last week. So I thought I could put in a couple of them today in my live with my friends. Oh, hello, Stacey. You're off work, so you can join us. That's good. They were useless for your hubby too. Was it at Guy's and St Thomas's? No, it wasn't. It was in a local hospital here in Colchester. I think people feel that they need to refer you on to things and they get your hopes up. I remember saying to my GP, well, what can they offer? And he said, well, no, they've got a lot more. I said, is it just going to be about relaxation and sleep? And he says, oh, no, there's a lot more they can offer. There's a lot more. And the annoying thing is, one of the main reasons that they referred me to the pain clinic was because my spina bifida consultant wanted me to have another MRI and to save me going all the way into London. But a GP can't order an MRI to see what's happening with my tethering. The GP said to me, but the pain consultant can order it. And he said to me, oh, no, neurologist would have to do that. He said, I can strictly order an MRI, but I wouldn't be able to read it. So I've now been referred on to the neurologist. And I've probably got another 6-month wait to have an MRI. And by the time I get the MRI, it'll be time to see the spina bifida consultant again. So I just kind of think, oh, what's the point of all of it? Just get on with life yourself, Alison, and just... I call myself Alison when I'm telling myself off. Just get on with it. Don't put your hopes into anybody else. Just rely on yourself. Right, which concealer shall I use? I shall use Emotion Proof. I said to my other half, well, if they're going to suggest that I cut back my pain relief, I might as well take up drinking. It was a joke, by the way. But, you know, it's a good pain relief. Have a couple of gin and tonics. And I don't drink now because of the pain relief I'm on. But if I had to come off it all, then maybe I'd just start having a drink. And then be told off for that. Oh, you got to cut back on your drinking. I don't drink at all. I think the last drink I had was a sherry on Christmas Day. I can't even remember. When he said, what have you been doing to help your pain? I nearly said, buying makeup. Right, that is the Tom Ford Emotion Proof Concealer. I'm going to put a bit on my eyes. Now, I did have a question from an Ali Pally, not mentioning names, because they're a bit shy. But an Ali Pally that said, I'm a bit scared of bronzer. And I never know where to put it. So in case you're watching Ali Pally that asked me that question, I will cover that today. But also, oh, Lisa's saying indeed scary. Are you also afraid of bronzer? Or is that something else that you're saying scary to, Lisa? That would be you too. Oh, well, I was about to say brilliant, not because I think it's brilliant that you're scared, but great, we have a subject. I also was going to do the contour ones by IU, which I will do in a minute. And I was also promised you all that I would do one eye with, oh, she was saying don't let it get you down. Okay, yes. You look like you've wiped mud on your face. Right, okay. All right, well, we'll cover it. That's at least 2 people. But also, I said, I promised you that I would do one eye with this, Charlotte Darling, and the other eye with this. And I am going out afterwards, so I may just have to rub off with this new palette, Pillow Talk Dreams, because they look so similar on swatches. So I'll try and incorporate all of this. Let me get a bronzer. It would have been helpful if I'd actually brought a bronzer to the table, wouldn't it? But never mind, I will do it now. And talk amongst yourselves for a second while I get some bronzer. Okay, now the other thing is you don't need to powder your whole face when you're using bronzer, because if you're using a powder bronzer, that is powder in itself. So you don't have to put layers of powder on that you don't need. So I'm going to put the bronzer on now. Let me get my bronzer. Right, I just got 3 bronzers. I've got 3 Charlotte Tilbury bronzers to show you. Now, first of all, if you're a bit scared of bronzer, don't go too dark. What will happen, I'll tell you, is it's a bit like painkillers, actually. You'll start off on the lightest, and then you'll suddenly feel it's not enough, and you'll graduate up to a darker one and a darker one, because that's what you do with bronzer. You think, oh no. Some people stick with the lightest, but so just to show you here, this is Charlotte Tilbury's shade 1, which I actually use as a setting powder sometimes because it's obviously too light for me, but it's quite good as a setting powder. Now, but that's shade 1, and then you've got shade 2. Now, shade 2 on me just about shows up. But I tend to go for shade 3. I need the Elson Red. Oh, probably do. Right, so that's 2. And then I'm going to show you shade 3. So first of all, I know I'm talking about Charlotte Tilbury, but let's just think generically. Don't go for a shade that's too deep if you're scared of bronzer, because you can always work your way up. Can you see the difference there? You can always work your way up, right? Now, secondly, what you need to think, and this is what I told this person that asked me the question, is imagine that you're lying in the sun on a hot summer's day. Where is the sun going to hit your face first? It's going to hit your face in the parts that jut out, right? Anywhere that juts out, wherever the sun is going to come in contact with your face first, that's where the sun's going to hit. So if you want a bronzer to look natural, you need to almost touch your face and think, oh, hang on, where's the sun going to hit me first? Obviously, the tip of the nose is probably somewhere you don't want to put the bronzer necessarily, but forgetting that, look, feel where your face juts out, because it's going to be the cheekbones, it's going to be the top of the head, and it's going to be a little bit over the bridge of the nose. that's where you put your bronzer. You don't, now, I think what confuses some people, hello Rebecca, we're talking about bronzers and where to put it. What confuses people sometimes is that even the makeup industry, when they're selling bronzers, use bronzers like sculptors and sculptors like bronzers, right? And they are two different things. Now, a sculpt shade goes into where the shadows naturally fall on your face. The bronzers actually do the opposite. They go into the highlighted points of your face, the bits that jut out, and the sculpts go into the dips, right, where the shadows would sit. But because there've been products like Film Star Bronze and Glow that do both, people get confused. And that's why. But we're talking about bronzers right now, and not sculpts, okay? By the way, the other thing was, I was about to recommend to this person using the bronzer out of Film Star Bronze and Glow. And then I went on to Charlotte Tilbury's website to send this person a link. And have you seen the price of Film Star Bronze and Glow now? £85. £85. That used to be £50. It's now £85. And that's without a brush. Go and have a look at Charlotte Tilbury. She's put it up to £85. That is just ridiculous. Yes. Film Star Bronze and Glow is now £85. Now, she's put other things up by a couple of quid. Like, she's put her cheek to cheek blushes up from 30 to 32. She's put her palettes. We know her palettes used to be 39 and they're now about 43. But Film Star Bronze and Glow used to be, I think it was £49. I say 50, but it was £49. It is now 80. Double check, it's 80 something. I think it's £84. So I said, well, I'm not recommending that to you. I was about to recommend that to this Ali Pally, and I said, I'll find you something cheaper. That's a rip-off. Right, I'm going to go in with my medium. So you take a big chunky, now remember, we are not contouring now. We are bronzing. You take a big fluffy brush and get a shade that is a little bit lighter than you perhaps would be for your skin tone. Give it a good swirl round over the brush and then give it a good tap. Right, and then you're going to go in at the cheek where it's jutting out and give it a nice sweep and up towards your ears. Right? We're not contouring, we're bronzing. And again, just swirl it around, give it a tap. Now this is shade 2, which you can see is plenty dark enough. I just like shade 3. But actually it does show up on my skin, especially in the winter. And give it a good blend in. Right, and then again, just take a little bit more, dab it in, tap it off. And then you want to go for these bits here where your head juts out. Because that's what's going to make you look sun-kissed. Like the natural sun. And then whatever's left on the brush, don't dip back in again. Just pop a little bit of whatever's left, so there won't be too much, because you don't want a great big orange mark on the centre of your nose. But just do that across the bridge of your nose. And there you have it. There's your bronzer. Now, obviously some people might want to, with me, I've got a pale neck in comparison to my face, but that's it. Film Star Bronze and Glow is still £49. Well, I looked it up this morning and it said maybe it was a special edition. Well, I beg your pardon. I looked it up this morning and it said 84 on Charlotte Tilbury's website. I beg your pardon, Charlotte Tilbury, I take it back. You can see where you went wrong. Wrong brush, need big and fluffy. I don't know what I was looking at then. Maybe it was some kind of set, but I looked up Film Star Bronze and Glow and it's, maybe I was on, maybe was I on a European thing where it was in euros. So sorry, Charlotte Tilbury, I take it back. It's still £49. And they do a mini one, yes. Maybe I'll recommend the mini one to my Ali Pally. So you see where you're going wrong now. Big fluffy brush. The reason is because Charlotte Tilbury had the Film Star Bronze and Glow and she used it as a sculpt and a bronzer. But in actual fact, that's where the confusion lies. But really with a shade like this is a bronzer because it's a warm shade. With sculpting, you want a cooler shade. You want a cooler brown, yeah? You'll be off again soon, but you didn't want to miss everyone. Oh, that's sweet. Right. So, I hope that's cleared that question up. And sorry again about the misinformation. I take it back. Thank you for my researchers looking up the Film Star Bronze and Glow. I don't know what I was looking at. And I'm very relieved to hear. Yeah, £60 was the one that came with the little brush. You do, but you get a little brush for the £60 one. So I'm just going to show you the little brush, but I can't see it here. You get a little miniature version of this with the £60 Bronze and Glow. So apologies, not £84. I hate giving misinformation. Right, let's try. Maybe Nina was desperate to see this and Nina is going off soon. So let's do the contour ones next. So I haven't even opened these yet. I have not even opened them. So we're going to do a little comparison of the contour ones of Charlotte Tilbury and the IU one. I'm going to do a little swatch of both. I can do another separate video on this as well, but I just, because I've been promising it to you for a while and haven't done it. So I've got the medium to dark contour wand of Charlotte Tilbury's, and I've got this one by IU. And this comes, just to recap, this comes in a set for £50 and you get 10 or 50, I think it's 10% off as a new customer. So you get it for sort of 40 odd pound, 45, something like that. Right, so this is, oh look, you can see the colour there. This is the contour wand by IU. Works in the same way, I think. Yep, you twist it and then squeeze. Right, so let's look at the IU one. There's the IU one. And then let's look at Charlotte's one. Charlotte's one's getting on a bit because, as I say, I was getting frustrated that she wasn't restocking. Pretty similar shades. Charlotte Tilbury, IU. IU one's perhaps a little bit warmer in shade, but otherwise they're looking very similar formulas. Okay, now we're going to look at, I'm going to put the IU ones on in a minute. We're going to look at, so you had a choice, by the way, there's two sets. The sets come with a contour wand, a highlighter wand. No, I haven't seen Huda Beauty's new Snatch jawline. Was that similar? Is this a similar product? They're all going to bring them out because they can't get them on Charlotte Tilbury. Right, so you have a blush and you get highlighter, and you can choose between a pink blush or a peach blush in the kit. Now I chose the pink one, and I'm going to compare this with Pinkgasm so that we can see the difference. Let's put that down again a minute. So here is, you twist it up. Don't forget to, once you've twisted some product up, to turn the thing back on the lock position. I'm not sure I did that with the contour one. So let's have a look at the pink one. Right, so that's the pink blush. Now let's look at Charlotte's Pinkgasm, which is over here. There you are, Pinkgasm. Right, Charlotte's. Again, very similar. This is Charlotte's. This is Eyeshadow's. Very similar indeed. And don't forget, you're blending these in on your face, so any subtle differences are probably not going to be noticeable once you've blended them in. Right, and then finally you have the highlighter, which I imagine is going to be very similar to Spotlight. Squeezing it up. So you can see this is genuinely a first impression. Right. I should have put that the other side. Hang on. Now that looks very translucent. Probably in comparison to Charlotte's. Perhaps not as much pigment. Let me just, it might be because I haven't shook it. Let me just have another squeeze. But actually, it doesn't really have to have that much colour. Right, so that is the Eyeshadow one. Perhaps not quite as good as Charlotte's Spotlight in terms of pigment, if I'm being honest. Not bad, actually, when you look at them together. So that one's Charlotte's, and that one's Eyeshadow's. It's just a little bit more translucent. So let's try that. Now we're talking contour. So I'm going to put on the Eyeshadow ones, and I'm going to use Charlotte's Hollywood brush thingamajiggy. So now when you're doing your contour, it's very different to where you would put your bronzer. So your contour goes where the shadow falls, not where the sun hits. So can you see there's a bit of a shadow there? If I remember, Charlotte says suck in your cheeks and follow the hollow. Okay. Now Charlotte does that, but we've put bronzer there, so we don't really need to do that. That's where the bronzer sculptor thing kind of overlaps a bit. But you can do if you want to slim down your face. So, you know, I often do it here because I've got, if you see, I've got quite a wide forehead. So I often do it here to kind of slim that down, and then obviously here to get rid of my double chin. Right, let's get her contour brush. And I sell brushes as well, by the way. The order that I had arrived very quickly, considering it was coming from Ireland. Now, I only put a little bit on and they dried down quite quickly, so work with them quickly. And I always use my fingers to do this. And I pinch my nose. So you blend it up and not down. You don't want to blend it down and have this bit here contoured, because then it won't slim your nose. So you need to actually blend it up and try and get some into that little ridge there, because otherwise it won't look natural. So that is the contour one. Now let's try the blush. I'm pretty impressed so far with Eyeshadow, or Eyeshadow. I don't know how you pronounce it. So if you've been waiting for Pinkgasm to come back into stock forever and ever, you can get this little set from Eyeshadow. And I'm just blending this in. You like my top? This was from, I bought this about 2 years ago from New Look. And I love lilac. I'm going through a lilac phase. I've just bought myself a lilac coat, which is to die for. I probably didn't need another coat, but I fell in love with it. So what the hell? I've never heard of this brand. It was Nina that pointed out that they were selling the ones, and they're based in Ireland. So it's called AYU. So like you, Terry, I'd never heard of them. Ali, it's back in stock from yesterday. What, Pinkgasm? Is it? I just got fed up because I really wanted to get the contour one. Is the contour wand back in stock? Mind you, I don't need it now. I've got this. That's what's going to happen. People are going to go elsewhere. The contour one's back in stock. That's just typical, isn't it? When you buy an alternative and then they bring it back in. Right, and this is the highlighter. Now this one, as I said, is a little bit more translucent than Charlotte's. But if Charlotte's one is a bit too intimidating for you, I think this is actually quite natural looking, because it's a little bit less pigment and a bit more translucent. You see what I mean? It looks more natural. Charlotte's one really makes you kind of woof glow. Let me show you what I mean. So Charlotte's one, that's not it. Do you know what? I think I showed you, no, did I show you the wrong one? I think I might have shown you the wrong one for comparison. I beg your pardon, everyone. Or did I? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No. No, that's the one. So this Spotlight one, now that's the Eyeshadow one, and that's the Eyeshadow one. But if I put a bit of the Spotlight, you'll see what I mean. It's got a little bit more pigment, Charlotte's. It's not quite as translucent. But this one, it would be better for the day, because it just, I'm going to put Charlotte's on now so that you can see. The Eyeshadow one just looks a little bit more natural for daytime. I actually like the Eyeshadow one. Let's put a bit of the Eyeshadow one in the centre. I wouldn't want to put the Spotlight one in the centre of my nose. Yeah, you see that one's better for the centre of your nose, because it just looks a bit more natural. Anyway, so Charlotte has hers back in stock now, but if you're interested in an alternative, as I say, you get this set for £50 first order from IU or AYU. You can see the colours on the back there. You get them as a set for 50 quid. You get 10% off, so it works out cheaper than Charlotte Tilbury. But I know we all love Charlotte Tilbury, but it's always good to see what alternatives are out there. And it does the job. Very similar colours. So that's that. Now, let's get on to the eyeshadow. I'm probably going to have to take one eyeshadow off because I'm going out later. And I have a feeling these, although they swatch very similar, are going to look different on my eyes. So first of all, I'm going to go in with Charlotte's Pillow Talk Dreams, her new palette, which looks like this. And I'm going to put that on this eye here, okay? And then I'm going to go in with Charlotte Darling and try and make it look the same on the other side, okay? So first of all, prime shade. Now I'm going to do a series on colours, different colours. I was chatting to Rebecca about this. So the next thing I'm going to do is lilacs, because I'm going through a lilac phase right now. And just do a whole series about different colours. Right, so that is the prime shade. And I'm going to go in with the smoke shade. So this is Pillow Talk Dreams. Not smoke, sorry, enhance. Giving it a good blend. Take a bit into that corner. And then I'm going to go in with the smoke shade and just take that again into the corner and up into the socket. Just take the excess off because I don't want that dark to go too far over in my socket. I need to trim my brows. Look at them. Don't look at them. So this was a test that I've been meaning to do to see whether or not Pillow Talk Dreams looks similar to Charlotte Darling on the eyes. And then we have, finally, we have the Super Pop, which I shall put on my mobile lid. Okay, so now we move on to Charlotte Darling. Just a quick go of that. You're getting the full brush set for your birthday. You're going to be 40. Well, you don't look it there, Stacey, at all. Not that it's bad to be 40. But you certainly do not look 40. That's not Charlotte Darling. That's the matte one. Come on, girl. Get it together. Right. Charlotte Darling. Here we go. Now, let's see if I can make this look similar. Because I suspect that this one looks more pinkish. But I might be wrong. So I'm going to go in with this shade here, which I'll use as the prime shade. See, immediately, it looks so similar on the swatches. And yet it doesn't on the eyes at all. So this is for people that were wondering whether or not to get Pillow Talk Dreams, because the swatches look very similar. And I immediately, as I was putting this on my eyes, thought, yeah, the swatches look identical, but it doesn't look the same on my eyes. Right, and I'm going to go in with this shade here, and I'm going to put that up into the socket. And again, give it a good blend in. So I'm trying to do the same thing as much as I can. See, it looks more of a coppery colour. It is warmer and more copper. This is more pink. Now I'm going to go in with that darker shade, so I'm doing the similar thing to what I did with the palette on the other side, and press that into the corner. I'm trying to make it look the same. Now, of course, this doesn't have a super pop shade, but what I tend to do with this is I take this one that I put on as a prime shade, and I do that. Right, now can you see what I mean about, even though the swatches look the same, the one advantage Charlotte Darling has is it's got this little highlighter at the end, which I'm actually going to use on this side, because I do like to highlight under my brow. I always have. I always feel like my makeup's not complete unless I've got a highlighter on. So that's from Charlotte Darling, that highlighter. But look, so it's definitely a cooler, pinkier tone than Charlotte Darling. Let me just put a bit more dark in the corner, because it's not looking, I'm trying to make it look the same. It doesn't look the same. It's definitely, I know probably my other half would say I can't see any difference, but this is a pinkier story. This is more of a coppery, bronzy story. This is more got a pink undertone to it. So it just goes to show that when you're doing arm swatches, they are not the be all and end all of life, and they can actually be quite misleading. So I'm going to take a picture of that. In fact, I might just take a screenshot now, and then I'm going to put that on Instagram. And I'm going to leave that on so I can take another picture afterwards in a better light. You don't want copper colours. I'm glad I've got the Charlotte Darling. This is, well, this is Charlotte Darling. This is what I'm saying is this is more coppery, bronzy, goldy, the Charlotte Darling. This is more pink. So this is the new eyeshadow palette. This is more gold. This is more pink. Can you see what? I'm going to shut my eyes and I'm just going to... So this one is the new Pillow Talk palette. This is Charlotte Darling. Oh, right, hang on. Very different on the eyes. Can you show the CT darker new highlighter, deciding if I need it or not? Yes, of course. Right, so that's Dreamlight. There you go, Dreamlight. You love both eyes. Yeah, but they're different looks, aren't they? So that is Dream Eyes, the darker palette, and I shall swatch on my fingers. What I did find when I was doing this last week is that it did look quite similar, I thought. Once you combined them all together, it looked quite similar to Charlotte's Cheek to Chic blush in Pillow Talk Original. Let me see if I can combine them all together for you so that you can see that. So it's quite a bit warmer than the other palette. Okay. Definitely warmer, and I'll show you them side by side so you can see that. Anyone else got any questions? I seem to miss requesting every live. It's just, I'm so busy chatting. Has anyone else got any questions? I'm going to look back because I keep missing Stacey's. Yeah, just keep putting the same comment. You're not sure it will suit you. Well, you do have quite a cool complexion, Stacey, so I think you're all right sticking with this one, to be honest. But I know what you're like, the fear of missing out, and you don't want to miss out on getting this one as well. But I think this one will look lovely on you as a highlighter, but you can use that as a blush. So that's your other option, is you can get that and use it as a blush. Right, has anyone else had any questions that I've not answered? You like the Charlotte Darling on Me better, and that's the one you've got. Have you compared the new one with the £12 Pillow Talk, Ali? No, I haven't. I have not. I shall do a video on that tomorrow, because that is a way. I'll make a note. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do a quick 5-minute video comparison between the two, and I'll put it on Instagram as well. I might even get time to do that later on today. I know that Rebecca's done one though, but I will definitely do it as well. Right, was there anything else that I was going to do? Obviously, I'm going to have to take one of these eyeshadows off. I'm going to leave this one on. I'll tell you why I'm going to leave this one on. I know Terry says she prefers this one on me. This one's got a bit more pink, so it goes a bit more with my lilac, because it's got a bit more pink in it. So it goes a bit more with the colours that I'm wearing. Whereas this one, it's fine. Gold will go with almost anything. It goes with my eyes. But I just think overall, this one's going to work better with what I'm wearing today. You're not sure if all your comments show up. Now, do you know what, Stacey? Where you said, sorry, I keep putting the same comment up. I'm getting the CT full brush set for my birthday. I'm going to be 40. And then I got, please can you show the CT darker new highlight, still deciding if I need it or not. Very different on the eyes. And then I got, sorry, I keep putting the same comment up. So there was only one that I missed. So I wonder if you repeat a comment, whether or not YouTube just ignores it or something. I don't know, but I only missed one comment. Yes, you're thinking as a blush. Remember to like the live, ladies. Yeah, so I'm going to head on off because it's nearly time's up. But unless anybody's got any other questions, I know I haven't done a complete look today, but given that I'm going to have to take one of these eyeshadows off, it's going to be a bit silly to carry on putting a makeup look on, because I'll keep the cheeks on, but I want to get this one off and put another eyeshadow on, and then put on a lipstick. But unless anyone's got any other questions, I shall call it a day. All right, well, take care, everyone. Love you all. They do, Stacey. You see them. Well, I'm not seeing them. What about lip colour? Yeah, what lip colour? So if I'm going to go with this, I will put a lip colour on then. Pillow Talk Intense. It has to be. No need to justify, Ali. I don't know what's going on, because as I say, I've only got one comment that I missed on this end. Right, now I'm going to put on Pillow Talk Intense. I think that'll go. I love Pillow Talk Intense. What do you think of that one? So that's the one I would choose with this eyeshadow, which is the one that I'm going to go with. Pillow Talk Intense, definitely. I love Pillow Talk Intense. It's the creamiest lipstick she does. Remember? The one I recommend to everyone. Yes, it works very well with the new eyeshadow. All right, I'm going to get going. See you all soon. Thank you again. Don't forget to like my live. And always remember, just nag me if I'm not reading your comments, because I'm too busy chatting. It's never intentional. You know that. I love you all. Take care. Love you all.